Yo. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope everybody's doing well out there. I'm just checking in. First and foremost, I wanted to thank everybody for the love for the new record. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate y'all for letting me do this so long and still supporting the art. You know, it means so much. I'm really proud of the record. It might be my favorite solo record. As of this minute, it's my favorite solo record. You know, I guess we had to give it a little time. You know, to be fair, to step away from it. You know, that's just being fair to it. But right now, yeah. I hope everyone's being safe out there. Shit is kind of hectic now, particularly in Philly. Hopefully it's not where you're at. Hopefully you're happy and healthy and safe. So yeah, I just wanted to talk real quickly as I possibly can. If this video, if you're watching on Instagram and it possibly just cuts off, I'm gonna post it on YouTube too. So I wanted to make that short too, because I don't know how long this has. The length to post on Instagram. I'm not really positive, sure about how long. I guess I should get going. So yeah, pre-COVID, so that would, I guess that hit early 2020. We were in plans. There were plans to go on tour, and in my mind, I was thinking, yo, this might be the end in regards to touring. You know, for those who have watched interviews of me, you might know my feelings towards touring. I've basically been touring the world my entire adult life. If you go back and okay, 96, our first 12-inch came out. 97, Psychosocial came out. By the time Heavenly Divine dropped, it was over in terms of, no, not over, it was starting the non-stop touring, etc. I've been around the world more times than I can count, and that's a sincere statement. I've tried to think, and I can't, the amount of times. Every continent, and pretty early on, this is just being honest, pretty early on, I realized that touring, specifically touring heavily, but touring in general wasn't good for my mental health. And it would lead to other detrimental behavior. I think, when you look at certain behaviors, like if I wasn't feeling well, it would just lead to like drinking, you know what I'm saying? To sort of, to numb, like, at the core of it is just sometimes with a lot of stuff in regards to touring with artists, a lot of it, people feel like there's so much temptation on the road. You have things like alcohol, drugs, girls, the nightlife and stuff like that. And I can see how that could be tempting to someone who's like not from a city like Philadelphia, but there's not really things out on the road that haven't been here my whole entire life, you know what I mean? So that was never an issue for me. The issue early on, I realized how much I love where I'm from, how much I love Philadelphia, how much of a homebody I am. By that, I don't mean actually staying in my home, even though I do much of the time now because I'm older and I'm just more mellow, and I'm more inclined to just stay in and watch the fights or whatever, than I used to be. But I still go out or whatever, with the homies or whatever. But, I realized that this triggers a lot of the issue, the mental issues that I have, and you know, it makes them worse. It's not, it was, you know, it's never really been healthy for me. Now the problem there is probably tenfold. And problem one, I love performing for y'all. I love meeting y'all. I love, you know, the relationships I've built with people from all over the world over the years. I can't be dishonest. I can't be honest about the negative shit and dishonest about the positive shit. I've made friends for life. There's people that I consider family that live in other countries, other cities, other continents, etc., etc. I love performing. I always love performing. It's an adrenaline rush that, comparatively speaking, I've never felt. There's no drink, drug, anything that's I could compare it to. It's beautiful. There's a connection there with you guys that, you know, there is an addiction to that. What I think is that most people, not most, 99.9% of the world's population will never really understand the side of it that isn't glamorized. You know, if you work a 9 to 5 and bust your ass at that 9 to 5, you're watching this and going, yo, this guy's complaining about touring, how dare he? And trust me, I get it. I've had people that are close to me say, oh, yo, I'm gonna take some days off and catch up with y'all for that little Cali run, and do it and come home after 2 or 3 days of doing nothing, just hanging with me, not rocking, nothing, and say, yo, I don't know how you do that, bro. And I'm out there 6-8 weeks at a clip, da-da-da-da-da. What you guys don't really understand is, in Europe, right, you get up in the morning mad early, off no sleep, because by the time you got home from the show ends, merch has to be packed up, you have to get you know, with the promoter to get paid the other half, because the first half of the money is deposited before I even leave Philly. Get the other half. Everyone's got to get situated. The merch has got to get counted. The merch has got to get packed. Everything's got to get packed up. Then you got to go back to the hotel. Your adrenaline's still going. So conceivably, you're going to bed at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning every night. And then bus call will be at 7 or 8 to drive 7 hours, 8 hours, could be 10, to the next country where they speak another language, and there's another culture, and there's another cuisine, you know. As an aside, all the places I've been through my whole life, I've never gone sightseeing. There wasn't any time. If I've seen things, it's because the natural order of things led me to seeing them, not because I was able to do so, you know. But the bottom line, though, I could deal with all of this. I could deal with anything. None of that is problematic enough to say I'm gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. But my mental health and its deterioration is enough for me to say I'm gonna stop. So it's, again, I'm trying to be as honest as I can here. You know, and with that said, it's been a long time that I've been like, yo, I don't know if I can keep doing this. A really long time. I'm not talking a couple years. Like I said, I was 20 or 21 when the nonstop touring started. You know, I'm not 21 anymore. And you might say, well, why have you done it this long? And if anyone saw me, I had the opportunity to talk to Joe Rogan on his show a few years back. If anyone saw that attitude, if anyone saw that episode, we touched on something what's called the immigrant mentality. And that's something that people have that come from another country and feel this obligation to always do what's best for their family, even at the detriment of themselves. That could be physically or mentally, of course. And that always through my head when I wanted to say no to a tour, always. Every time when I was prepared to say no to a tour, every time something would come into my head and say, these people are offering me a lot of money, an inordinate amount of money, okay? I do very well. An inordinate amount of money to go out and rap, which I used to do in front of the mirror when I was a small child. Who the fuck am I to say no to that, knowing my father died busting his ass, my mother busted her ass her whole life, my whole entire family, you know, I'm the only one that doesn't have a traditional lifestyle in regards to work, that was able to not just have the dream, but achieve it. And that would always lead to me to agreeing to these tours, because tremendous amount of guilt that we came here for a better life. Now people are offering me lots of money to rap. How could I say no to that just because I couldn't put my mental health ahead of that. I felt it was weakness. And I felt it was a matter of get over yourself. I didn't take my mental illness, excuse me. I didn't take my mental illness seriously enough, you know, in regards to touring and what it did. And I continued to say yes and continued to say yes and continued to say yes because of that guilt. I continued to love the performing aspect of it. I continued to love talking to y'all, you know, meeting y'all, gaining friends, etc., etc., etc. I think when we were planning things around COVID, before COVID put things into it, everything froze. The world froze. Prior to that, I think I was like, yeah, I think this is it. This is going to be the last one. So now that you guys are going to start seeing these tour dates roll out for the US and Europe, I'm saying I think this is it. Now, another challenging thing about this, for me personally, I don't know, I can't say I don't know what they would do. I know what other people would do. You know, how many times has Kiss said, this is our last tour, you better come to see us, because this is it. You know, the Rolling Stones are they're all pushing 80, they're still doing it. How many other acts have said, this is it? How many fighters have come out of retirement, right? How many boxers have retired and come out of retirement? So it was very tricky for me, and I didn't know how to approach it, because I didn't want to sell y'all on, this is it, y'all better, this is the final tour, this is the swan, those type of things. And the reason is because in my mind, I'm done touring, you know? It's not good for me. It's not healthy for me. After this is what I'm saying. After this, I'm touring 2023, but I mean post 2023. In my head, that's it. Some people, you know, I've explained these things to my booking agent in the US, my booking agent in Europe. There's very much a vibe of, well, you'll do this, you'll take a break, and you don't know how you'll feel in a year or two. I'll tell you why that's not correct, because I've had that with COVID, and this is the I'm telling y'all, this is the happiest 2.5 years of my life, probably since childhood, with COVID. So you've heard all of these people, depressive states, collapse of the economy, relationships breaking up, people losing their jobs, etc., all during COVID, right? Whatever you think about it, you know, whether you think that how it was handled, that's neither here nor there. and how I feel it was handled is neither here nor there. You've seen the human condition and the suffering, the depression, suicide rates, things like that. I'm sitting here in my world, never been happy in my life. Write, record, hang out with my puppy, take my mother out to dinner a couple times a week, hang with moms. This is the happiest I've ever been. Just the ability to create and go to the studio and write and go to the studio. So the question of, well, maybe if you give yourself a break, you'll fall back in love with it. I've had the break during COVID because other people obviously have started to go back on tour. I didn't, probably, I don't know. You guys would know better than me when people started going out. I guess as early as 2021, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go back out because I don't want there to be another rush of this COVID shit and then that gets shut down and da-da-da-da-da. Let's wait until we know the tour is gonna happen, you know what I mean? Because there was some pump faking there for a while. There was tours ready to be announced to y'all and then another wave of COVID would hit or whatever and we didn't announce them to y'all. So to avoid that, I was like, let's just set it for this time. So now they're locked in. It's my responsibility to tell everybody out there, because I love y'all. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. It's my responsibility to tell y'all that there is a high probability that I'm never gonna rock shows again. Will a festival pop up somewhere even in my own city, or one off in Europe in a couple years? Maybe. And that's why I'm not announcing this via the promotion of the tour, on the flyers, on the tickets, as the you know what I'm saying, the final tour, because I don't want it to seem dishonest on any level, even though the honest truth is I feel as if I'm done. I'm certainly never doing any long tours again. I'm certainly not going out again anytime soon, and by that I mean years. For all intents and purposes, it's my swan song to me and in my head, I'm not the type of person that money can lure me out of things or into things. If you ever hit me up and ask me about a feature to rap on your shit, you'll know what I say. There's no amount of money you can give me. And I'm telling you that. It's not, if you hear me on something, it's my man's. If you hear me on a song, it's my man's that I respect their pen. And we know each other in real life. I don't care I've turned down an inordinate amount of money to do verses. Money that you all out there wouldn't believe I've been offered. I don't care. It's the same thing with this. It's not, I already get paid a lot of money. Life-changing, life-altering money to the average American, the average person. But specifically because I understand the economics of my country, I get paid life-changing money to tour, and there isn't a number that would lure me out if I don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it, even though I love to perform. The things that go along with it have been detrimental to my mental health, and I felt obligated to make this video and be honest about it. So you don't see that stuff on the flyers because I didn't want to be weird with y'all. And sell it like that's the reason you should come, but it is the reality of the situation. So there has to be some sort of transparency between us, because I'd like to think that there's always been. So I'm just letting y'all know, when you see the dates, whether it's the US or Europe, come through and check me out, because the reality of the situation is, I think I'm packing it in as far as touring is concerned. I love y'all. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your support of the new record. Please continue to do so. I'll be dropping more videos, more singles. JMTstore.com. Tickets are there for the upcoming shows. Brand new merch, everything. I love y'all. Thank you for being with me on this journey. And I'm going to keep making records and keep making merch and keep doing things and creating and videos and all of that. But I think it's time to pack in the touring. I love y'all. Peace.